and the fourth, would you just like really just go for just a bigger, bolder?
So I honestly, there's no real like dessert of at the Seder. Like the Afikoman is the worst dessert ever.
So use the wine as the dessert, right? There we go. It's the answer. Wine is the answer.
in my life, wine is the answer to most things. So yeah, I like what I call a dessert in a glass. I like a beautiful dessert wine. Now, dessert wines are not for everyone, right? They are
because they're usually pretty sweet.
They're very often very sweet. My favorites are very high alcohol, and you treat them very differently, right? These aren't you aren't going to pour yourself 6 ounces of it, right? So like there's also like depending on how much
some of our listeners might.
There we go. That's fine too. There's also, I mean, depending on, I guess halachically there might be a certain amount you have to drink.
It's like 3.5 ounces. But are they? So they're typically sweeter. So I guess they could give you more of a, I don't know, more of a hangover. Like, I guess, is there a reason?
Look. At this point, in our hypothetical Seder that you and I are having together, we're already like 6 deep, right? So we're in it to win it.
I'm excited for this. I'm like, what? We should just do this now.
Let the mock Seder live. So I think I'm in. Great. So yeah, like 3 ounces, 3.5 ounces is probably pushing it where I would want to be on something like a port style wine, which is actually.
I thought you were going to say a recliner. But port style wine. Okay, good.
So like where there's extra alcohol added, it's fortified, so it bumps up the alcohol level. We've got a great port style wine from Netofa in Israel. They make a ruby port, well priced. Has really kind of berry fruit forward flavors, and that little kick of alcohol just to kind of act as we started with an aperitif. We're now having a digestif. There's also, I mean, if you want another style of dessert wine, which is one of my favorite in the world, is Sauterne, which is an extremely late harvest dessert wine made from botrytis grapes, which are grapes that have been affected by the noble rot. If you saw a picture of them, it would turn you off them, but they make some of the most delicious wines in the world. The wines kind of get all shriveled up and look kind of all not very appetizing, but they make absolutely delicious wine. And that's why? Because they are desiccated pretty much. There's hardly any water left in them. So you're getting
super sugary?
Super high sugar, and the phenolics, the phenols, the flavor compounds in that grape are so much more concentrated because there's no water to dilute them.
Oh, wow.
So you get like this burst of flavor explosion in your mouth when you taste them. Those Sauterne wines are very unique. They're very like caramelly and dried apricot and honey, and they only get better with age. These are wines that you could stick in your cellar and forget about for like 25 years. Wow. And really experience something special. And
So I'll have to admit publicly, I've never had one of those. So I'm very intrigued.
So Piada is a great producer that makes kosher Sauterne, and it is extremely, extremely special. Once again, these are wines that you can buy and forget about for years, but they do taste delicious young. We're actually right now in the process of making an ice wine in New York State. Wow. And what they do is they harvest those kind of late harvest raisin shriveled up grapes after the first freeze.
Oh wow.
So it's actually fascinating. It is a 2022 vintage wine. Yeah. That was that if it was harvested last year would have been a 2021 vintage wine. Wow. So